Hi folks, this is the tutorial on VisiSketch Pro that I promised that goes along with the text that explains it in the PTE forum. And I have opened Photoshop because I want to show you the components and how I combine them in order to get what we're going to use in VisiSketch Pro to make the painting. So this first is a picture of my granddaughter, Lindsay, and she's studying in a field of lupines, and I took a picture of her and cut her out in Photoshop into a PNG and put it into this background painting. So that's going to be the background. And then this is a crop of the easel and tripod and the palette and tripod that I put into that picture in Photoshop, and that ended up looking like this. And then once I had that in there within a parameter that a 640 by 480 would fit. You have to make sure that. Then I use the crop tool set to 640 by 480 to go in and crop out that part like so. And I painted this black outside here. So anyway, I did that. I won't crop this because I've already done it. So then I ended up with this, and then I put the white canvas in on that painting, that picture you saw. So now I have an identical background here with the canvas and the foreground in 640 by 480 with my granddaughter's picture in it. Okay? Now, once I got all those components plus the see if I can show you all of them. I created the palette for the and the paint and so on, and the canvas all in Photoshop and put them all together in the picture. So now we go in from here to VisiSketch Pro. I'll open that up. And I'm going to enlarge this. And the first thing you want to do is give your project a name. I'll just call this Project Name Granddaughter. There we go. And then I want to make sure that I have down here it says filters. The filters are on when they're clicked like this: smooth, increased line contrast, and colored lines. You want those all to be checked. And then we want to load those images I showed you in Photoshop, the 640 by 480. So we go up here and say File, and then we have to load the background image, and I called it background and saved it here. There we go. And then we want to load the primary image, which is the foreground. I call it foreground. There we are. Now we're ready to start painting. And we want, if you start out with a line drawing, which is a very small line, like it says group line width, this little one here, pick that one, and then always start. If you want your paintbrush over here on the palette, always choose a new dot group, and then make sure you got a paintbrush, and that is, you go up here to the drawing tools. I created one. There are many of them in there that you can use. I created one, and I used one of the original names for crayons. It's called a blue crayon. It's actually a paintbrush. It says PicturesToExe on the handle. But anyway, so you choose a new dot group. You go over here and find a color, like you're going to be doing a black line. So just to make it look right, you might want to click around a few times here, and then before you go over to the easel, choose a new dot group, and then you can go over and start clicking about a quarter inch or so. And this is drawing out, this is going to be drawing a line. And so if you got a building or a person or something, you're going to go through this whole thing carefully, and you can increase, you can zoom in like this, and go right around and very carefully do this. You're drawing a line with these dots. And every time you want to move the brush, go for a new dot group. So I want to put a line around here like that. New dot group, draw our face. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just showing you, you keep using new dot groups every time you want to lift the brush. Okay, I'm doing this very fast, unlike what you would do in a real painting. This might take 30 minutes to do. So I'm going to go for a new dot group, and I'm just going to go with a great big broad paintbrush. So I'll choose this one and then another new dot group to get my brush back. And I'm going to paint the whole thing in just a few seconds. You would take 30 minutes and do it carefully, and vertical brush strokes, horizontal brush strokes, do a little part at a time, all that. I'm not doing that just because I want to show you how to get this done. Okay, so now I'm going to just, right now I'm painting the whole thing. When you're all finished with your painting, everything should be black. Or if you've chosen another color group, it could be yellow or red or whatever. But you want to cover the entire thing with what you're doing here. Because that paintbrush is going to do exactly what you're seeing here. So if you want to paint a small part of it, go to a different area, paint that area, go to a different area. Don't do it like I'm doing. You don't have to be real careful around the edges because you actually had this entire thing out here is a 640 by 480, and so you're just reproducing what's already there. Okay, so I'm almost finished with the painting here. And once you get everything painted black or blue or yellow, whatever that kind of color you chose for the group, then choose new dot group and a small thing, and put your paintbrush up here somewhere, and make a small closely connected dots to the edge of your painting. This is moving the paintbrush, and stop at the edge. New dot, you go over to lay your brush down over here on the palette, put a few dots. Okay, when you're done with that, you build the bitmap down here. And these should all be checked. Make sure these are checked. And then watch what happens here. Our paintbrush, we move it over. Now we're going to draw my granddaughter. Of course, you would spend a lot more time and put all the detail and everything in here, unlike what I did. And then I chose a big brush and just painted everything quickly. I want to show you how to get this done. So there's my granddaughter. Now I started painting the whole thing. See? You wouldn't do it this way. But for the purpose of the tutorial, it's only necessary that you know you have to start a new group to move your paintbrush. And when you go off the palette and canvas and go onto an easel, if you're using an easel and a palette, you need to start a new group. There you go with the little finding space dots to move the paintbrush off. and then a new paint goes. That's the end of it. Once you got that done and the BMP build is complete, you just build the AVI. So click on build the AVI, give it a name, call it granddaughter, and put it where you want it. I'm going to put it in the same folder. Now, normally, if you got a whole bunch of dots, see how you have 183 dots, you might have 2,000 or 3,000. It may take some time. This will be rather quick, and if you have a lot of dots in there, it might make two AVI files that you'll have to use and put them in the end to convert them. This case is only going to make one because I don't have that many dots. And it said building AVI, let's see. AVI build complete. Okay, we can get out of here. Or we can save this project as granddaughter. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get out of here now. And I'm going to go into PicturesToExe 9. I'm going to say File, New. I'll call it Granddaughter. Open it up. And so the first thing I want to do is put this background picture in. Okay? And then we'll go to Objects and Animations. And I want to put this whole thing, including the background, into a frame. So I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to add a frame. And paste that background to it. Now, I'm going to also, to that frame, I'm going to add a mask. And I'll call it the mask template. And I'll make it rectangular, so I'll get rid of the radius here. Make a rectangle and no corner radius. Okay. And then I'm going to take my mask rectangle and I'm going to move it, enlarge it actually. Move it a little here like that, and then just hold the shift key down and drag it out. It doesn't matter if you make your mask rectangle larger or smaller because it doesn't affect the size of the image. Don't do this with the mask content or the container. Read those along. Okay, now I'm going to add that video that we created. Add video. I'll go up here and granddaughter WMV. There it is. Hang on here. I don't want to put it in the wrong place. Mask content. There we go. Now I'll move the video over so that black part's off the edge. That's pretty good right there. And the whole purpose of the mask is to kill the edge of the video so it blends in with the background. So I'm going to go up here and pull this over. And when it stops changing, see right there, it's blended. Okay, that's good. Now, let's get our slide option some time. Let's call it maybe 120 seconds in this case. And you also may want to click on your video here and go to Properties tab and then go down to Adjust Time Range and make it slower so the drawing isn't so fast. I'll make this maybe 50% speed here. Let's change it to 50. Okay? And now let's go to the mini viewer. I won't use the preview because my 15 frame per second capture software does flashes when I try to do a full screen. So let me show you what happens. Here we go. We're drawing, as you can see up here, we're drawing my granddaughter, the outline, and now I'm just painting everything. What we saw the original granddaughter outline probably should have taken a half hour or so and done very quickly, and the painting should take a long time. You should use vertical brush strokes for vertical things and horizontal brush strokes and smaller brush tips and so on and so forth, but this gets it on. We'll see what's going on. So there we've just done the whole thing and stopped the brush, and that's the end of it. So we could go over here to Objects and Animations if we wanted and drag the line over and see where we end up, the end of your picture, end of your video. And then if you wanted to let it rest for a minute, click on the frame up here and put in insert a keyframe. We'll go a little further, insert another keyframe. That's for the frame. Highlight the frame. Then we can drag this whole size and make sure we don't show the black edge over there. And you can enlarge the whole painting so you can see what you've done. And so then when we go back to the mini viewer or preview, in your case, I'll drag this back. When it finishes painting, it will enlarge, and you won't be able to see where the video begins and the background image ends, because you had done the whole thing using a blurred edge in the mask. And there it is, enlarging for you. You change the speed to enlarge it and so on. If you wanted to, you could put PNG objects moving about, animation over here. You could have rain and snow over the whole thing. All kinds of things you can do. But this shows you how to use VisiSketch Pro, and you'll end up with some really neat things you can play with. Just remember to reiterate, make a new dot group every time you raise your brush to change its position, and when you move to and from the palette. New dot group to move to, new dot group to move from. And so that's it. Then you can add sound to your video and sound to it in PicturesToExe and do all kind of neat things. Hopefully this gives you some ideas to work on, and be sure to let me know on the forum if you have any questions. And again, I apologize for my voice. The stroke is still keeping me from talking normally. I whistle sometimes when I try to say certain words, but I hope this will help you.